My name is Nurfaiza binti Ruspandi, matric number 285128, and I will make a presentation on economic analysis and industrial analysis. The objective of Bank Negara Malaysia's monetary policy is to keep price stable while continuing to encourage economic expansion. Besides, monetary policies in Malaysia can be classified as expansionary or contractionary. BNM carries out its role in monetary policy by changing the overnight policy rate, or we call it as OPR. As the Malaysian economy continued to thrive post-pandemic, BNM has raised the OPR by 25 basis points to 2.75%, which will encourage people to save more and spend less. The goal of fiscal policy is to stabilize the macroeconomy after a crisis and also encourage long-term economic growth. There are two main categories of fiscal policy used by governments, which are expansionary and contractionary. Budget of 2023 proposed an expansionary fiscal policy with 373.3 billion ringgit compared to 385.3 billion ringgit in 2022. First, KECK Malaysia Berhad is a Malaysian firm that processes and sells refined palm oil, develops property, invests in property and also shares investment. For the third quarter of 2022, KECK's net profit went from 17.56 million ringgit to 61.59 million ringgit, which is more than 3 times as much as it was during the same time last year. This shows that KECK has a strong competitive position in the plantation industry as they are able to improve their net profit for 2022. Second, BLD Plantation Berhad is a Malaysian investment holding company. The fourth quarter net profit for BLD Plantation Berhad was 7.14 million ringgit, down from 16.83 million ringgit in the same period of the previous year, due to the company's higher average cost of products. Last but not least, our third stock is United Plantations Berhad, which is a corporation established in Malaysia that grows oil palm and coconuts. Due to higher crude palm oil and palm kernel price in 2022, United Plantations Berhad's net income for the third quarter of 2022 increased to 166.72 million ringgit from 154.14 million ringgit in the same period last year.
Good day, doctor. My name is Tan Ijen and my matrix number is 278637. So I'm going to discuss about the fundamental analysis of financial ratio analysis. So for the first part, which is liquidity ratio, where the current ratio of KECK Berhad is the highest, which is 8.779 in 2018. While for the lowest current ratio is BRD Plantation, which records an amount of 1.11 in 2020. So this implies that the company is using its asset effectively during that particular year for BRD Plantation Berhad. Now for the quick ratio part, we can see that KECK Berhad was the highest, which was 7.49 in 2017 compared to other two companies. While for BRD Plantation, it has the lowest, which is 0.67 in year of 2020, and this demonstrates that BRD Plantation is vulnerable to disruption and lacks liquid asset to pay down its present debt. For the activity ratio, which is the account receivable turnover ratio, we can see that BRD Plantation has the highest value, which is 29.99 in 2019. So this indicates that the BRD Plantation is extremely cautious when it comes to granting credit to its clients and is either efficiently or aggressively in the collecting processes. While for the United Plantation, it records the lowest, which is 8.44 in 2021. For the inventory turnover ratio, we can see that the account of BRD Plantation is the highest, which is 18.89 in 2017. While for United Plantation, it has the lowest value, which is only 3.5 in 2019. So this indicates that BLD Plantation is capable of selling items, replenishing inventories faster than other competitors, and acquiring higher profits than projected. Now, for the total asset turnover, we can see that both companies, namely KECK and United Plantation, is not quite good as the ratio, as all of the ratio are less than 1.0 among the 5 years. While BRD Plantation has the best value in total asset turnover, as the value is greater than 1. And in 2020, the value recorded the highest value with an amount of 1. Good day, doctor. My name is Tan Ijen and my matrix number is 278637. So I'm going to discuss about the fundamental analysis of financial ratio analysis. So now for the third part, which is the leverage ratio, we can see that for debt to equity ratio, United Plantation does not provide their amount due to limited resources. While for the BRD Plantation, it records the highest value, which is 0.204 in 2020, and for KECK Berhad, it has the lowest ratio, which is 0.0785 in 2020. So this demonstrates that KECK Berhad owns capital is more than its borrowed capital, making it is less risky to be invest and appears to be more financially solid compared to BRD Plantation. So now for equity multiplier, we can see that BRD Plantation has a higher highest value, which is 1.986 in 2020. So based on the table, we can also identify that United Plantation has the lowest value, which is 1.122 in 2019. So in general, it is less risky to invest in United Plantation because assets with a low equity multiplier are frequently seen as less risky due to a smaller debt burden. On interest earned, we can see that KECK records the lowest value, which is negative 0.0095 in 2020, and the highest values is 0.00919 in 2018. While for United Plantation, we can see that lowest interest earned is 0.2415 in 2019, and the highest is 0.2982 in 2020. For last, for BRD Plantation, their lowest interest earned is negative 0.023 in 2019 and the highest, which is 0.0344 in 2021. So as a result, United Plantation Berhad is often performing better and has less risk due to the higher ratio compared to the other two companies. Now we will be moving to a profitability ratio, where for the net profit margin, we can see that throughout the 5 years, United Plantation Berhad is said to have an efficient management and a great pricing strategy due to the highest value in net profit, which is 29.82 in 2020. While for KECK Berhad, it achieved the lowest amount of net profit margin of negative 7.38% in 2020 compared to other two companies, and it is maybe due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So now we can see that for the ROA, KECK company has the lowest value, which is negative 2.19 in 2020, maybe due to COVID-19, but as in 2021, it increases back to 3.58. While for the United Plantation, it records the highest value, which is 16.94 in 2021 among all the companies. So this illustrates that United Plantation is doing an excellent job compared to the other company in increasing earning with every dollar they invested. Last, which is the ROE, we can see that the highest value is 19.58 in 2021, while for KECK, it records the lowest value, which is negative sign of negative 2.94 in 2020. So this indicates that United Plantation also manages its equity more efficiently and productively by utilizing investment funds to grow their businesses. Now we will be moving to the last part, which is the common stock ratio, where the first one is trailing PE ratio. As you can see that the highest value is 199.8, which refers to BRD Plantation in 2019, and the lowest is 15.74 in 2020 at company of KECK. Too high of value PE ratio, the more overpriced is the stock. Hence, for overall, most of the investor will invest more in United Plantation as it has more consistent and lower value of trailing PE ratio. Now, for the dividend payout ratio, we can see that KECK has recorded the highest value with 0.455 in 2018. So this means that KECK has distributing its disproportionately larger part of its earning as dividend while investing less in the firm. While for BRD Plantation, it records the highest value, which is 0.174 in 2018. So this implies that due to the investment in company development, the firm will most likely to be able to provide more significant financial gains for investors in the future. Last but not least, which is the price to book value ratio, we can see that United Plantation has the highest value, which is 2.53 in 2017, and this shows that this company has a high value of its stocks. While for the lowest ratio, which is KECK Berhad, which records only the amount of 0.547 in 2017, and now we will be moving to the last part, which is the common stock ratio, where the first one is trailing PE ratio. As you can see that
Next, I'm going to explain about the estimation for the dividend discount model. Under the estimation year, the total intrinsic value for KECK Berhad is 5.963. As we look in the Excel, since the dividend growth rate has negative value, so we assume zero growth rate for the particular company in the upcoming 3 years from 2022 to 2024. Hence with the same intrinsic value for 1.988 each year. Next, for United Plantations, there is an abnormal growth with zero growth rate from 2017 to 2019, but there is an increment from 0.15 in 2020 and further increase to 0.39 in 2021. Hence, we assume the growth rate for United Plantation is 3%. The total intrinsic value for the estimated year for United Plantation is 66.5. Moving to the last company is BLD Plantations Berhad. The average growth rate is below zero. Hence, we also assume that the company has zero growth rate for the upcoming years. The total intrinsic value for the company is 0.918.
Good day to doctor. My name is Tansy. Metric number 279851. Now I'm going to explain the free cash flow to equity model. For KECK Berhad, the equity value of 2021 is negative 25 million, while there is a positive value for the estimate year from 2022 to 2024. As the equity value of 2021 is negative, so the estimate intrinsic value for 2022 is negative 67.69, and the estimate intrinsic value for 2023 and 2024 is 63.87 and 59.35 respectively. For the average estimate intrinsic value, KECK get 18.64. For United Plantation, the free cash flow to equity for the estimate year is increasing from year to year. Sum to its present value of FCFE and MPV. The interest rate is 2.05%. The terminal value of FCFE, PV of terminal value of FCFE, and the equity value for 2021 and the estimate years are in negative value. So the estimate intrinsic value for United Plantation from 2022 to 2024 are negative 10.98, negative 8.89, and negative 7.48 respectively, while the average estimate intrinsic value is negative 9.12. For BRD Plantation Berhad, the interest rate is 2.53%. We can see that the growth rate of FCFE from 2018 to 2021 is decreasing. The average growth rate would be negative 194.79%, and the assumed perpetuity growth rate is 1.423%. The free cash flow to equity from 2022 to 2024 is continuously increasing, but the present value of FCFE is decreasing. The equity value for 2022 is 7.27 million, 7.11 million in 2023, and 6.97 million in 2024. The estimated intrinsic value from 2022 to 2024 is increasing as the equity value is increasing, which record 78.31, 73.96, and 71.43 respectively. The average estimated intrinsic value is 74.56.
Moving to the next estimation, that is the PE model. Based on the historical performance of KECK Berhad, we estimate that there will be no PE ratio and earnings in the future from 2022 to 2024, as the 5 years average for PE growth rate and earnings per share growth rate obtain a negative value as shown in the calculation in the Excel. In United Plantations, we estimate that the PE ratio will decrease from 15.906 to 14.742, while the earnings will increase from 21.354 in 2022 to 25.398 in 2024. On the other hand, the PE ratio for BLD Plantations Berhad has a positive outlook because it increases from 0.791 to 2.144, but the earnings is estimated to decrease from 0.381 in 2022 to 0.241 in 2024.
A very good day to you, Doctor. I'm Darshini Ganesan, metric number 270062. So now I would like to continue with technical analysis. So according on 31st October 2022, the MACD for KECK, SENG and Berhad stocks show that the MACD line is below the signal line and both signal line and strength line are below zero line. This indicates the stocks are ready to sell. Based on the RSI reading on 24th October 2022 is RM45 ringgit and 23 cent, and that value goes down to 44 ringgit 89 cent on 31st October 2022. And also the price range is under 50, meaning that the price trend is still weak. More traders selling the stock than buying the stock, and this will derive the stock price will go down in future. Based on the RSI and MACD analysis for KECK, SENG and Berhad, the traders should consider selling the stock as the MACD line goes down as well as the RS line goes down too. So moving to the second company, United Plantation Berhad, a bullish signal occurs when the MACD line of the company crosses above the signal line and still below the zero line. The RSI reading of the company on 31st October 2022 is RM49 ringgit and 36 cent. Although the RSI is lower than 50, the price trend is still weak, but it's generating potential to buy signal. Therefore, traders should consider buying the stock of United Plantation Berhad. Next is BLD Plantation. According to the chart below, it shows a bearish signal occur on 31st October 2022 when the MACD line of the BLD Plantation crossed below the signal line. And the RSI reading of BLD Plantation on 31st October is RM33 ringgit and 78 cent, which is lower than 50. The price trend is still weak. There are more traders selling the stock than buying it. It shows a signal that traders should sell the stock of BLD Plantation. So as for Recommendation: based on the fundamental analysis, BLD Plantation has a good performance in liquidity ratio, activities ratio, dividend payout ratio, and United Plantation Berhad has a very good performance in leverage ratio, profitability ratio, trailing PE, POE ratio, and POE model. And for the technical analysis, the MACD and RSI results show the signal to buy United Plantation Berhad Company's stock because the RSI indicated an upward and bullish signal and the MACD line crosses above the signal line. Overall, United Plantation Berhad has a very good performance in both fundamental and technical analysis compared to the other company KECK, SENG, and Berhad and BLD Plantation. So in conclude, it is suggested to buy United Plantation Berhad stocks by the investors. That's all from our group. Thank you very much.